Hey everyone, I'm Gloria Altania.
I'm Betty Bima.
And you're watching 10 out of 10
with the Pabulum partners.
Yep, and today's countdown is the top 10 dates on ice.
Yes, that's not a good thing. These are bad dates, the worst dates you could ever think of. Okay, so tell me one of your personal experiences where you had to put the date on ice.
Ooh. Okay, so there's been a few bad ones, but I particularly remember one. I met this guy on Facebook online, and he had his pictures up. He was all cute and stuff. So we were messaging back. Well, he had messaged me. I messaged him back, and we were going back and forth, and we planned to meet up finally. And so I was like, okay. I told one of my friends to come with me. We met at the bowling alley. And when he gets there, like, he's shorter than me. And I'm 5'4". So I was just like, dang, I didn't expect that. And that's fine sometimes. But I mean, like, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just roll with it. We ended up having a nice time. And so I told my friend, I was like, okay, you can go ahead and go. We'll just continue. We're gonna go eat. So I go out with him to his car, and he has this old brown beat up Cadillac, right? And I was just like, okay, you can't judge a person by their car. But as we get in, we're driving, and the car kind of goes like, and then he's like, oh, if the car stops, we might have to push. And I'm sitting there like, I am not about to push nobody's car.
Oh my God. So you might have to push.
Yes.
He's trying to test you.
The beginning of how that ended up being one of the worst dates ever. Okay.
Oh.
It probably taken me too long to get, but just you get the gist of it, right?
Yeah. Well,
what about you?
I wonder if mine is worse, because before I could even go on a date with this guy, his introduction was that he bought his car for $500.
Was it a good one? No, I'm just kidding.
What? You don't do that. Don't tell people that when they first meet you. That's like lowering the expectation so much,
Yeah.
Unless it was like a gift, or is it, your dad gave it to you or something like that. So he was like, pay something for it. But if you're seriously, and this guy, I had a horrible experience. There's this guy, he was about in his 70s, and he just made me feel a way about myself, because he did this thing to me. I guess is how they flirt nowadays, but he did a shoulder thing like this, and then he winked at me. And I was just like, no, don't do it. But my brother, he's like, you should date people who are 70 and above, because those are the sugar daddies. They have it going on. You don't know. And you close to getting that life policy too. Like, it's not that far from the life insurance and everything. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It depends on their swag. If they Steve Harvey, okay, I could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Steve Harvey 70?
I don't know. Oh, girl.
On that note, let's jump into number 10. Because
I don't know how old that man is. I'm just saying he older than me. Okay, because I'm about 18. No, I'm just playing. Let's start the countdown. This is getting worse and worse for me. It's like I'm the bad date.
Driving around the city in her spanking clean car, Mariah, a radio DJ, had a thing for cleanliness. She absolutely took pride in being pristine and neat. After a while, Mariah stopped at the store to pick up some snacks. When she started walking toward her car, a young gentleman dressed to the nines approached her. "Hi, how are you? I was wondering if you'd check out my music." "Sure," Mariah answered. He gave her a flash drive. She went home and listened and enjoyed what she heard. So she contacted the artist to let him know her thoughts. Those thoughts turned into a full-blown conversation. The artist gathered the courage to ask her out. She was hesitant, but he promised it would be lighthearted. A few days passed, and Mariah, who was supposed to meet the rapper at the coffee shop, received a call from the rapper to meet him at his house. The rapper was playing video games when she arrived. "Let me just finish this game and we can go," the rapper said. "Okay, that's fine. Can I use your restroom?" Mariah asked. "Yeah, it's right down the hall." As Mariah slowly tiptoed through the house, she was impressed by how clean the rapper appeared to be. She went into the restroom. Closing the door, she took a sigh of relief and walked to the toilet. The lid was down, something Mariah cringed at, but she figured she will live. Yeah, that was until she lifted the toilet lid and a big gruesome log of you-know-what floated on the surface of the bellowing toilet water. "Ah!" Mariah shrieked. She ran out the restroom toward the rapper. "What's wrong?" He jumped up. "There's something disgusting in your toilet," Mariah said. The rapper followed Mariah to the restroom as she pointed towards the porcelain crown. "There!" The rapper opened the toilet. "Oh, snap! I forgot to plunge it. I'll take care of it." As the rapper went to work, the germaphobe Mariah quietly slipped out and never spoke to him again.
Loving yourself is truly important, especially in this day and age. You must be your biggest fan, otherwise who else will if you aren't? Well, I think a guy took this a little too literally. So I met a guy online. He seemed very nice and well put together, maybe a little too put together. But we decided to meet up at a cafe for coffee and to chat. But he began to be a little too chatty. Normally, a nice good flow of a chat means that you're into each other. But it has to be a good back and forth flow. A little from you and a little from me, put together a nice conversation. But this dude literally never stopped talking. And whenever it would be my turn to speak, he would interrupt me to interject his opinion on what I didn't finish saying. I finally had to ask the guy if he wanted to hear anything I had to say. He then apologized for interrupting, and I continued. So here I am telling him all about me, and he pulls out a pen and a notepad and starts taking notes. I disregarded it, but then it kind of got on my nerves. I stopped talking to ask him, "Hey, what are you doing?" He then replied, "Oh, I'm writing down things I want to tell you when it's my turn to talk again." Really, dude? Really? That was our first and last date.
So this was not your experience, correct?
No, this was not my experience. I actually found this one doing some little research here and there. But have you ever been on a date where like a guy just spoke so much, right? And you would tell a little bit about yourself and he'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then he would just continue talking about himself and you're just like, "What I just told you wasn't a good thing," kind of. I was trying to like, release some things about me and you just was like, "Oh, okay, just shoot it off." Like, you're like, "Are you paying attention to me?"
Yeah. Well, it wasn't necessarily a date, but I've been in that situation before, like with in just social circles, friendships and stuff like that, where this particular guy, unfortunately, just talked about himself the entire time. I could not get a word in. There was no discourse at all. So you know what? I just started eating. Right. Okay, you talking. I'm going to finish my meal.
Imagine going on your first date at 19 and your parents are still so very overprotective of you. Yeah, it's endearing and it shows that your parents care. But what about when they take it so far that it's embarrassing? Well, this dating story went viral 2 years ago when Pedro Lugo insisted that he meet his daughter's date through his Ring video doorbell. He told the young man named Jared, "Sorry I can't meet you in person because I'm at work." Then he jokes, "I get to see your face, but you can't see mine," before letting out an evil laugh. Pedro proceeded to interrogate and grill the nervous date. "Where are you guys going?" Jared answers, "To the row house and then maybe a movie." His daughter, Grace, appears and leans into the video doorbell. "Hello," she responds before her dad says, "Hello, my young butter. Just hold on 1 minute." Pedro continues, "Which movies you guys going to see?" Jared, being the sly guy he is, answered, "Toy Story." "What time you guys going to be coming home?" Pedro prodded. 11. Jared continued to cruise through the questions with the most innocent answers. Pedro tries Jared again. I heard 10:30. When Jared thinks the worst is over, Pedro slathers on the parent overload, saying all the things overprotective parents say, such as, I got a good picture of you, and I know people everywhere. Then, the cringe moment of Grace's father saying, I love you, in front of her date, as if she couldn't feel any closer to 5 years old. Then Pedro warns, don't make me look for you, because you know I will. As the young couple start to walk towards the car, Pedro makes a final desperate move for the sake of protecting his daughter. He tells his son Jordan to take a photo of the license plate before they leave. The total interaction took about 3 minutes, but for Jared and Grace, it may have seemed like eternity. All of this was done without the father ever stepping foot in front of the young men. Talk about parenting from afar.
If you don't have time to date, it's fine. All you have to do is download a dating app, upload a recent photo of yourself, say a little short bio about who you are, where you're from, and what you like to do, and begin to swipe left or right on potentially good matching guys or gals that the app recommends based on your input. It's simple, right? Wrong. It's even harder to weed out the googly mooglies on apps because they can literally put anything they want to on there. Trust me, I know from firsthand experience. I met a nice guy on a dating app. After checking out his profile, he seemed legit. Nice and tall, about 5'11", athletic and lean, enjoyed outdoors and working out. So I liked his profile and we ended up matching. After a couple of weeks of talking through the app, we decided to meet up at a 24-hour fitness for a workout date. We agreed to wear blue and black so we can identify each other. I had a friend tag along with me because, well, it was my first time meeting up with a guy from a dating app, and you can never be too sure. I had told him I arrived at the 24-hour fitness, and he texted me that he was at the free weights. So I made my way over there, and I noticed a guy in a blue shirt with black shorts. And he was the only one in the free weights area, so that had to be him. He was sitting down, and when I walked over there, said his name, he stood up, and he stood to be about 5'6". Also, he was no longer lean or athletic. I made sure he was the correct person, and yep, he was. Needless to say, I felt duped. We worked out for a good 15 minutes before I made eye contact with my friend, saying, it's time to go. She made her way down to me, and my date was a little shocked that I brought somebody. But honestly, I was shocked that you lied about your height. You left 5 inches off, dude. So yeah, no more dating apps for me. Well, at least for now.
No. Let's go
Like,
into the
it's
next
fine.
one.
Like, just don't lie about how tall you are, or like, don't lie about, what you do. Just tell people. And if they can accept you, then swipe left.
Trying to find love these days may be a little more difficult than it used to be back in the day. But when you find someone that you vibe with, you make sure to follow all the steps that keep the engine going. Or at least that's something I would do. After searching for some time, I had finally found someone I could relate to and keep a good flow of conversation going with. So of course, we finally met up for, dinner. The young lady was dressed well and had great energy. All in all, it was safe to say we had a great date. At the end of the night, I was walking her to her home, and suddenly, she just started to run away. Without question, I chased after her and asked what was wrong. Well, more like shouted. All she said was, police, I have a warrant out for me. In that very moment, I knew this was bad. I kept running, but in a different direction after she told me that bit of information. Eventually, I did end up getting caught by the police, sadly. It took me 20 minutes to explain to them my situation and how it was my first day meeting her and I was not involved in whatever she had going on. Those 20 minutes may have been short for most, but for me, it felt like 20 hours. I was afraid, but luckily, they believed me and let me go. Whew, glad that's over with.
Before California made marijuana legal, and all the CBD products and all that, there was this guy that I was chilling with, and we were in his car, and we were near a college campus, and cops got behind him, And I was like, yo, you're being followed by the cops, right? And the reason why I was so scared is because he is a weed smoker and he had weed in the car. But you know what? I'm not a smoker at all. And so I was like, I told you don't travel with the, with that stuff in the car. Look, you don't listen to me. Now a cop is behind you. He's like, that cop not gonna do nothing. And the cop turned on his lights. And do you know this boy sped off on a car chase away from the cops, ran the stop sign, tried to go around the college campus. So you know what I did? Because I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. So what I did, I opened the door and I jumped out like I was Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible with the car moving. And I ran through the dorms because you're not going to take me to jail for a bad choice you made. I've been good this whole time in my life and I'm not going to let you take me down. You understand me? So I had to do what I had to do. He thought I was crazy. He called me later and said, why would you jump out of a moving vehicle? Why would you run away from the cops? And you know what he did with the weed? I saw it before I jumped out. He put the weed in his mouth and swallowed it. And it was like a lot.
How do you even get with someone like that? Like, what? Did it hurt when you rolled out? Did you remember? Or the adrenaline was moving so much that you just was like...
I didn't feel anything. I felt like an action figure. I know that much. I felt like I was a movie star or something.
I could just imagine you just...
I jumped out. I sure did. I jumped out. Feet moving just like the Flintstones. I was gone with it. Gone with the wind, fabulous. I went.
Shut up. I never knew that. Now that's hilarious. What? I ain't never jumped out no moving car.
I can't stand that when these criminals go on dates and try to act regular and then later you find out they got all these warrants and stuff. I did find out later, like it was like a year later that this one person had a felony or whatever on their record.
Wow.
Like, that limits your job prospects, even though that's sad. They should be able to get jobs coming out of prison so they don't have to resort back to crime. And like, that's a real issue, but you should also be transparent in the beginning,
Yes, you have to tell people in the beginning. Now, I'm going to have that picture if you just...
I like to call this one the loud talker. There are some people you can't take anywhere because the moment you do, you're bound to experience something new, and not in a good way. On this particular date, Adam asked his coworker Michael to go to a movie date with him, and the coworker agreed. Finally, the day had arrived to see the movie. Adam looked at his watch as he waited in the theater lobby for his date to arrive. As the clock ticked away, Adam started thinking maybe he won't show up. But just before Adam gave up hope, Michael appeared. Adam was relieved. They went into the movie theater and located their seats just in time for the trailers. The first trailer appeared on screen, a scary movie. The theater became intensely quiet. Then suddenly, in the loudest voice ever heard in a movie theater, Michael says, "Yeah, I don't think I'll be buying a ticket to that." Adam is surprised at how loud Michael's voice echoes across the surround sound theater. He shrugs it off, thinking maybe Michael also underestimated how loud he was. Another trailer comes on. "Oh my gosh, who makes these movies?" Michael says loudly. Adam, whose ear is right next to Michael's mouth, is not only shocked, but he's also getting irritated. The next trailer, Michael is even louder, sharing his opinions. Adam attempts to quiet him. "Shh, everybody can hear you," he tries to say nicely. Michael chuckles. "Oh, my bad." The movie finally starts, and would you believe that Michael talked loudly throughout the whole film and even had the audacity to do his version of a whisper in Adam's poor ear? Adam sinks down in his chair, embarrassed to the gods. To refrain from leaving his date in the middle of the movie, Adam excuses himself for the majority of the film with several excuses such as needing concessions and going to the restroom. Needless to say, that was Adam's last time asking a coworker out on a date.
Many restaurants, especially fancy ones, get to experience things such as birthday parties, graduations, and especially proposals. Proposals are a big commitment to make, And when you're ready to do it, you really want it to be special with a nice intimate atmosphere and mood. Well, a lucky gentleman thought he was ready to make the leap of commitment. He made reservations at a nice fancy restaurant, requesting a private corner booth for 2, with a dozen roses for his proposal. However, when he arrived, you could tell something was a little off with him. He nervously walked up to the host and asked if there was any way he could get seating for 3 instead of 2 because his girlfriend's mom will be joining them. Despite it being awkward between the guy, his girlfriend, and the girlfriend's mom, he decided to move forward with his plans of proposing. He pulls out the ring that he handpicked and popped the question to his girlfriend. His girlfriend just kept her head down, looking at her dinner, as her mom spoke up for her. No, she will not be marrying you. The girlfriend never said a word, and she never even lifted her head. Slowly, he put the ring away, and they continued to eat their meal uncomfortably, in silence. Respectfully, he paid for their meal, and then the mom just took her daughter, and they went home.
This worst date is great for discourse and debate. Some people would see it as a big no-no, while others would think it is a dream come true. See, it all started with 2 friends going to the grocery store. An employee at the store saw the 2 ladies and knew he had to approach them. He starts talking to one of the friends, and after a few cute exchanges, he compliments her. "You're very beautiful." She's flattered and thanks him, giving off flirty energy. Then, the guy turns to the other friend and says, "Can I have your number?" Can you believe that? That should have been a big enough sign of what was to come. Confused and a little embarrassed, she gives him a hard time. But after a little banter, she gives in and quickly gives him her number. Days pass and he finally calls her. He asks her out to a restaurant just to get to know her. You know, a pre-game date of sorts. They meet at Taco Cabana, out of all places, and he's the most nervous she's ever seen. He keeps stumbling on his words and dropping his empty cup. It's awkward, yet he still finds courage to ask her on an official date. She reluctantly agrees. The next time they meet up, they're in a car driving through a neighborhood. She has no idea where they are going. The car stops in front of a house with several cars. "Where are we?" she asks. "Oh, just my people's house," he responds. He knocks and the door opens. Before they could even get fully in the house, someone yells out, "Finally, we get to meet your girlfriend." "Girlfriend?" she thinks. "Hold up, I'm not his girlfriend." "Welcome to the family," another person says. She can feel her face turning red. What in the world did he tell these people, she wonders. She looks over at him, speechless. He tries to laugh it off. Don't scare the girl. She has to get used to y'all. All of these thoughts are churning in her head at once. I need to get out of here quick, she thinks. So I just wanted to bring her by so you guys can meet her, but we actually have plans tonight, he tells his family. Okay then, well, you lovebirds have an awesome date. We'll be planning a wedding and baby shower real soon. They leave the impromptu family date. As expected, she's big mad. Did you tell your family that I was your girlfriend? She angrily asks her date. He's acting like this is just a normal occurrence, she thinks. Yeah, kinda. But don't mind them. They're always taking things overboard. She yells out, take me home, like, right now. He took her home, and you would think that she would never accept a call from him again after tricking her into being his girlfriend when they were barely on their first date. But having the kind heart she had, she kept in touch.
I've been tricked. No, just like
As a bartender in a high-end establishment, you experience and see a lot of things. And a lot of mature men aren't afraid to shoot their shot. For a certain CEO of one multinational, age ain't nothing but a number. Whenever this CEO would have meetings, he would treat his associates to a nice lunch in my establishment. At the end of that lunch, he would find himself at the bar pretty drunk, and every time without fail, he would ask me out on a date. He was very nice and charming, and after some time, 2 years to be exact, I finally agreed to let him take me out. Now, keep in mind that he is 40 years older than me. So I thought, why not go out with him and then just disappear? We ended up going to this lavish dinner in this rooftop ballroom of the Hotel of Vancouver. We enjoyed cocktails, champagne, lobster, and a couple bottles of red wine. So far, everything was good. We got on the dance floor and danced, even though I didn't know how to do any type of ballroom dancing at all. It was the last dance of the night, and I wanted it to be the best dance yet. So I decided I was going to dip him. So I quickly grabbed him, dipped him, and keep in mind also that he is 6'4", a whole foot bigger than me. And when I did dip him, I dropped him. And then I fell on top of him, breaking his collarbone. Talk about a goofy moment. We spent the rest of that night in the ER. He never asked me out on another date.
Everything about this date equated to jerk vibes. He liked jerk chicken and even loved to do the jerk dance when it was popular. He had a reputation of being too overly friendly during interactions with women and was considered the definition of a thirsty F-boy. Oh my gosh, stop it. Unfortunately, his next victim was very unaware of this unscrupulous side to him. One day, they decided to spend the entire day with each other, and that hideous monster called Jerk reared his wrinkled head. They went to the mall to do a little shopping. In nearly every store they went in, he flirted with the female employees, right in front of his date. He complimented one lady's physique, telling her she should be a model. Of course, there's no respect in these streets, so the employee gobbled his insincere compliments with no shame. After they left the mall, they went to a fast food drive-thru, and he proceeded to flirt with every woman he came in contact with, despite only being in their presence for a few minutes. His date wasn't usually the jealous type, but she was starting to get irritated with his tactics. He would smile real big, prolonging eye contact, while saying the most charming and flirtatious words. This jerk was flirting all right, and he was doing it right in front of his date. It had to be one of the worst experiences in dating the woman had ever endured. And for a moment, it even made her doubt herself. Of course, things took its course, and they went their separate ways. And now that she knows the headache of being with a flirtatious jerk, she's thankful that she has peace of mind.
Oh boy, I'm glad we got through that.
Yeah, that was a fun list of dates on ice.
One thing that people got to stop doing is, because I really think it scares people off. Like sometimes women demand too much in a first or second date. You know, they're already looking for a husband, kids, and all this kind of stuff. So slow it down and take your time. And then the other thing is like dudes, they be so scared when they see a fine woman or someone they're attracted to, and you could spark up a conversation with them and like automatically, like I was at Robics, the smoothie place, and there was this guy, he looked like a fitness coach. And I remember you was looking for a fitness coach. And so I was going to ask him, my intention was to go up and ask him, does he personal train or whatever?
Yeah.
And so I smiled, and then I approached him and I said, hey, are you having a good day? And he was like, yeah, I'm having a good day. I'm married. What?
Your name is Mary?
Good for you, sir. I'm glad you're married. But I just wanted to know, do you train people? Because I got a sister somewhere who's looking for a trainer. But he want to let me know that he married. He up there shaking, trying to hold on and be faithful. And gonna tell me I'm married. Like, I'm just like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we got to stop doing that. Like, now everybody's trying to, just because they smile at you or bat their eyes, they're not trying to hit on you or anything like that.
True.
It's just being friendly, especially people from the South. We say hi to people we don't even know.
That's true.
You're like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Good day.
Yes. And with that said, we should end the show.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us on our top 10 countdown of dates on ice. You can check us out at pabulumentertainment.com, and you can check us out on YouTube at Pabulum Entertainment.